So what's the topic for this week? Medication and what you should take with you whilst you're walking your Camino. Coming right up. Okay, so a very common question that people have when they're planning their first Camino is, oh, look, I need these medications. Can I get them in Spain or France or wherever you're walking? Should I bring all of this stuff with me? So let me put your mind at rest, hopefully, and tell you how it works. I should preface this by saying my experiences on the Camino Frances, but it will be pretty similar on most Caminos in Spain, I think. So first of all, do you need to take stuff with you? Yes and no. I do take some medications with me because I'm on a couple of prescription medications and I'm not sure if I can buy them over the counter in Spain. So I haven't got one with me, but they're very light little foil packs and it's not hard for me to take 6 weeks worth. I think they weigh about 25 grams for 6 weeks. So I take them with me. Just a tip, if you're taking prescription medicines with you, I always travel with them in the original box with, the label on it that says, prescribed by Dr. Smith for Rob, etc., so they can see they have been prescribed, they can see exactly what they are. Then once I get to the start of the Camino, I throw all that away and I just keep them in a little Ziploc bag to, cut down on space and weight and all the rest of it. That sounds a bit pathetic, doesn't it? Throwing away the box to save weight. What does it weigh? About 5 grams? But it's more about the space. So prescription meds you might want to take with you. Alternatively, do a little bit of research and see if you can get them over the counter in Spain. I mean, drug laws are different in different countries. I live part of the year in Thailand. It's amazing what you can buy over the counter there. And otherwise, maybe consult your medical professional and say, how's this going to work? Should I take a prescription with me? If you're able to, with prescription meds, I kind of take enough with me to last me. As long as that doesn't mean it's a kilo box or something. The other thing which I think is really important to mention is Spain is a first world country. Last time I was there, and it's full of pharmacies. Really, really good pharmacies with great pharmaceutical staff. I have to say, I find the service in the pharmacies, particularly along, the main Camino routes like the Camino Frances, sensational. They've got pilgrims coming in every, couple of hours. They know what pilgrims need. Very often, somebody in the pharmacy will speak English. I think, a lot of medical professionals kind of do during their training particularly, but don't always expect it. So it's always a good idea to have a bit of a translation ready, check it on your app or something. But very high quality pharmacies, excellent. And, they give out really good advice. Just one thing I would say is be a little bit, be careful about medicine strengths. So for example, because I have Achilles tendonitis, I take painkillers. So I take paracetamol and I take ibuprofen. The dosages in the tablets in Spain can be a lot higher. I think they have 400 milligram ibuprofen and even 1,000. So just be careful that you know what the dose is and what you're used to. So again, get some good advice on that. But you can get most things in the pharmacies. They also have, generally the pharmacies have a really good stock of, what would you call them? Things to hold you together. So, what I mean by that, ankle bandages, elbow straps, knee straps, they've got lots and lots of those. We take them with us these days because we know that we're going to need them, but most pharmacies have those and they're pretty good. Not too expensive, the sort of tubular things you pull onto your knee and strap up, tape for strapping your legs, whatever you might need, all that stuff you can get there. So you do not need to go over there with this huge kit full of medications and tapes and things like that. One thing I will mention other than medications is, first aid. Should you carry some first aid stuff? I always do, but it's minimal. My first aid pack is probably that big. What do I have in there? I have some liquid antiseptic that I can put on a wound. I've got some band-aids. I think I carry a bandage. It's not just for me, but if anyone else needed help. I have tablets for diarrhea. Sometimes you might be stuck between villages and 10 k's to go and you've got the runs. What do? I don't like taking those sort of Imodium things, but I carry half a dozen just in case. So odd things like that. I carry a few antihistamine tablets because I get very susceptible to mosquito bites and things like that. There might be half a dozen things. It'll be like 4 or 5 of those in a blister pack and 4 or 5 of those. So the sorts of things that you might want. Have I got it here? No. I very often carry a little, here it is, a little plastic container full of lavender oil, pure lavender oil. What do I use that for? It's great for sunburn. I know there will be people who say there is no evidence that essential oils have any therapeutic benefit. Well, I'm here to tell you they work. So a couple of times I've had really bad sunburn, particularly on my hands on hot days, and I rub some lavender oil in. Great for that. Really bad insect bites. I put lavender oil on mosquito bites. Great for that. So I take a couple of things like that, but I don't go mad. It's all in a very lightweight little zip pouch about that big, because it's a first world country and you can buy most of the stuff you want. So just think about the odd little things that you might need, your prescription meds. If you're going to cut yourself 10 k's from the next village or something, at least have a little bit of antiseptic and a couple of band-aids. If you're expecting to get blisters, in 3 Caminos I've never had one, but most people do get them. Think a little bit about what you might want to take for blister prevention. I could do a whole video on blister prevention, maybe I will, but the best thing is to prevent getting them in the first place. So, things to cover hot spots. I use hiker's wool, those sort of things. I'll do a video on blisters. So things like that you might need along the way, but don't go mad. Lots of great pharmacies. So there we go, just a few tips on medications. Let's hope we can all walk in 2021. Thank you for watching. See you next week. If you're new to the channel, we have videos coming out every Tuesday evening, Sydney, Australia time. So if you're a bit of a Camino nut like I am, hit subscribe and hit the bell and you'll get notified every time we have a new video coming out. Love to hear your comments down below on your tips on what to take and medications and all that kind of stuff. See you next week.